Nice.
Yeah. My phone's going off like crazy. I'm turning it down. Feels good to be on another episode of Tech Podcast. Want to thank everybody for stopping out. Greatly appreciate if you guys give us a thumbs up and a like, share out to your friends and things like that. Lot of news to talk about today on Tech.
Way too much.
A lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, definitely way too much. A lot of crazy things happening with Naughty Dog. Cuphead passed 1 million. Connect is dead. Lots of enhanced games. Forza news, man, it's a lot going around. So definitely want to jump in to the show and start talking about the latest things. We're trying to see where B Money's at. Hopefully he joins the show midway through, if possible. What's been going on with you, Anchor? What you been playing lately before we get started?
I've been doing that Minecraft. Actually, we've last week we had launched the TICGN Minecraft server officially, and we've been out there in that world building it up, doing our thing, having a good time. We're going to be introducing factions next week. For those of you guys who've been playing, it's totally a blast. I can give you a little bit of a preview. We got 2 major factions right now we're working on. Red Rose Bandits. Every time at the scene of the crime, they always leave 1 red rose. Just to mark. And the Order of the Iron Shovel, which is kind of like a Judge Dredd law group that kind of just roams from town to town.
That's funny.
So that's dope. So we got a couple other ones out there. Anybody about them yet, but we'll be getting into those later.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I know that Diz is trying to work on something for Ark, which is pretty cool in itself. Something similar to that, where you have pre-built bases and pre-built, scripted groups and storylines and stuff like that. So the people who want to join the game can join, and they can join a faction. You can have faction wars and set these events up, and that's how you keep these type of things going for long periods of time. When it feels like you don't have anything to do, you're actually really a part of a story, which is pretty cool in itself. I like that idea a lot. Hopefully, we can get people involved, people who want to play and join Ark and Minecraft and things like that. As we build those servers up, they'll be able to join in and enjoy themselves. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing, dude! Like we got so many cool plans we want to do for the Minecraft server. Definitely, we'll be rolling those out soon. So
right. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's get the show started. I want to thank everybody once again for coming out. I greatly appreciate all the support and the thumbs up. Listen, man, we have been doing website. I can't stress enough about how good the support we've been getting on the site. So I want to thank everybody for supporting us on the site, getting news from there. If you listen to the show, when you go check out TICGN or you catch an article passing your feed and you have a look, I greatly appreciate that hit. It really means a lot to us because we've been doing it for such a long time. So let's go ahead. Let's get the show started and let's get into this Naughty Dog situation. Here we go. Welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast, the premier podcast for Xbox One. I'm your host, KORS Kal-El, with Anchorman V.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing tonight?
And, of course, B Money 101, who unfortunately is not with us at the moment. And we are the Inner Circle. So, listen, man, big news coming out, breaking news, honestly. An ex-employee, let me actually pull up the article before I delve deeper into it. An ex-employee of Naughty Dog has come out with all the allegations happening and everything happening in the TV film industry with, I believe his name is Harvey Weinstein, correct? From the Weinstein Company.
Yep. That's right.
And the Weinstein Company, if you haven't seen the Weinstein Company, these guys have been a staple in the movie and film industry for a very long time, from TV shows to movies. And honestly, you really can't miss this name. And it's become this big thing where someone had come out and made allegations against him about sexual harassment and some things that he had done, it opened up a whole plethora of, I guess you could say, wounds for a lot of people who have now started to come forward and talk about some of the misconduct with Hollywood executives in Hollywood. This has just like been really huge, really big over the last couple of days. It's really rocked Hollywood to its core. The craziest thing out of all of this, though, is that it somehow has trickled down to the video game industry and has affected an ex Naughty Dog developer and has given him the strength and courage to come out and express something that had happened to him a few months ago. His name is David Ballard, Naughty Dog, and he's come out, and this is what he had stated. In late 2015, I was sexually harassed at Naughty Dog by a lead. My work environment became extremely toxic afterward. In February 2016, I had a mental breakdown at work. Station HR became involved when I told them about the harassment. They ended the call and that's insane. That is insane. Not that he had a conversation with them about the harassment and that they got the issue resolved or they had a meeting amongst the people involved. They ended the conversation. This is his accusation now. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not saying this is what happened. These are allegations that he is bringing against Naughty Dog and Sony. Basically, what transpired at the time and kind of holding that back. And I'll kind of get into why maybe he held it back. But it's just very shocking and surprising to hear this. And he goes on to say that company was moving in a different direction and my job was no longer needed. They tried to silence me by offering me $20,000 if I signed a letter agreeing to the termination, as well as to not discuss it with anyone. I declined to sign it. I have been unemployed for 17 months since. When interviewers ask why I left Naughty Dog, I say I was burned out by the crunch, ashamed to get to the root of the problem of being sexually harassed. I'm speaking out now because of the strength I've seen in others coming forward about their experiences in the TV film industry. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I will not let anyone kill my drive or love for the video game industry, my passion or life. Listen, this is humongous. This to me is just crazy. Now, again, these are allegations. The last thing I want to do, because a lot of times when it comes to sexual harassment, this one is guilty until, proven innocent. Like, you're automatically guilty. It's not an innocent until proven guilty situation. You're guilty until proven innocent. And that's normally what happens. Now, I'm not saying that what he's saying isn't true. I'm not saying that what Sony did isn't true. All I'm saying is that these are the allegations labeled against him. We don't have any evidence that this is true. It just hasn't been taken to a court of law, and we don't know. But based on this, and finally putting this out to the public, this is big. This is big because we don't know what kind of can of worms this may open for other people in the industry when you have people in power over you. Now, this is a man, by the way, that has been sexually harassed, which is a very rare case in itself. I'm kind of mind-boggled at this. I respect the man's integrity for turning down probably a $20,000 severance package, which is probably what it was. But the fact that Sony HR requested that he be silent on it, and that we don't even know if the person who was the lead at Naughty Dog who sexually harassed him at the time is still working there. So it's just a crazy situation all around. How to take this? What is your thoughts on this, A?
Now, this is the thing in particular, and just for this whole discussion, just everybody insert the word allegedly in everything. We don't know for certain right now. It's just tweets. There's no statements by anybody, at least clarifying anything. Now, with this one, it also adds another ripple to this, is that at the time, this is very specific. He said this is when he was working in 2015. In 2015, almost all of Naughty Dog was working on Uncharted 4. And he was specifically working on the multiplayer of Uncharted 4. Now, the other thing in particular that adds even more ripples to this is that at the time, there were only male leads on the group as well. So this would if this is true, this would be a sexual assault by a man on another man.
Wow.
On top of it too. So
what a twist.
What a twist. It's absolutely crazy, to be honest. And I just, again, if this is true and this did happen, it's one of those scenarios where nobody comes out looking clean. It's bad on Naughty Dog for even facilitating this kind of thing and not addressing it. It's bad that it had to come out from an individual. It's even, I think in some cases it'd be worse because Sony actually tried to cover this up with a severance package. It's bad all the way around, and it's one of those things where the console war itself doesn't matter in this case. It has nothing to do with that. I don't want to see people using this as part of that. This is just a bad scenario. But it is pointing towards this larger trend, at least in the entertainment industry. If you look at the voices who are the loudest, like pro-feminist, some would call S.O.W, something along those lines. It's so weird because lately it's been those people who are the exact opposite behind closed doors. Like the Harvey Weinstein thing, he had donated so much money to like women's focused charities and all these, like in like a pro-feminist position. And then you look at another person like Joss Whedon, same scenario, but apparently behind closed doors, these people are not like that. And it's very concerning, again, if true, that it's happening in this industry. And I can't think of anybody who would have thought that if this were happening, it would happen at Naughty Dog. Of all places,
right? Of all places, Naughty Dog. Well, listen, Naughty Dog has, 300 employees, my understanding? There's a lot of people. You can get lost in the shuffle in that. And if you have a male lead hitting on another male lead, no one would suspect that. It's such a rare case that no one would even think about, and I don't even think anybody would probably take it seriously, honestly. Like, so-and-so has been hitting on me or whatever, one of those type of things. And, most people don't. Like, if it was a woman on a guy, most guys would be like, dude, like, man up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a woman. But nobody ever takes these things seriously when this happens to a man or something like that. Like if a man is sexually harassed or if a man is raped in a rare case, which surprisingly does happen, ironically, which I recently saw, which is just insane to me. It's just a crazy situation. Now, a lot of people are like, why didn't this person come out when this person had the opportunity to do it? And I think just like some of the women in Hollywood, you're just afraid of being blackballed. You're just completely being shut down. You're talking about a person in a position of power that could put in a terrible word about your work ethic, the type of person that you are. Someone who may have been in the industry for such a long period of time. They've built many relationships, have many connections, and can really put a big dark cloud over your name alone. Trying to recover from leaving Naughty Dog, especially Naughty Dog, which is like a premier video game studio. When somebody asks you, hey, why'd you leave Naughty Dog? And you don't really have a proper excuse, most people probably think it's your fault.
Yeah.
Leave your duty, you were fired. So because of that, and the people are like, well, if you left Naughty Dog, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not at Naughty Dog, then something must be wrong. Like, no, we don't want you.
And look at it too, because look what he was saying in his interviews. At least according to him, what he had said was that he kept saying he couldn't handle the crunch or whatever. And Naughty Dog is pretty notorious for having pretty crazy crunch conditions. But at the same time, it's like a lot of companies have like a crunch period too. And to say I can't handle crunch is like, I don't know if we should have you on the team then. But also, like if you can guarantee, again, if true, that if he didn't sign an agreement, Sony's blacklisting this dude. Like he's not getting hired by anybody.
He said that he didn't get a job in 17 months. Now, if you're a developer and you work at Naughty Dog, normally you get picked up pretty quick. Like if you work at major studios like a 343, or you work at Turn 10, or let's say Polyphony or Naughty Dog or Gorilla, or something like that along those lines, you're more than likely to get picked up pretty quickly because you have experience or talent working with some of the best developers in the industry. So for a developer not to get picked up after 17 months and you're going on interviews and they keep asking you, well, why you're not a Naughty Dog and you're still not getting picked up, that says a lot to me. Now, this puts him in a position to sue them because he didn't sign any agreement. He didn't sign the package, which puts him in a position to tell his story, truly go in depth about who it was. If he wants to go to court and take them to court, he can. The only problem that you have at this point is that there's no evidence. It is hard to really come out and try to prove something when you don't have I don't know if he has it. Let me not say when you don't have the evidence, but a lot of times you need hard evidence, unless you just get a plethora of people to come out and say the same thing, like the Harvey Weinstein situation. Had it been one person, only one person, that probably would have been brushed under the rug. Like no one would have said it. Like it would have been, it's almost like the Bill Cosby situation. If it was just one woman, because that person's stature is so big, it would have been like, okay, he paid the woman off, keep her quiet, it's over. But 50? You know what I'm saying? Or like with Weinstein, it's like, it's a lot of people coming out. A lot of women are coming out. Freaking Terry Crews came out and said that he was sexually harassed, which blew my mind when I read that. Completely mind blown. Said some executive in Hollywood walked to him and grabbed his what, and his wife saw it. And I was just like, he said, he didn't want to attack the person because he didn't want to be in the paper the next day. 240-pound black man beats up Hollywood executive. He didn't want that, and he didn't want to be blackballed from Hollywood because he's really kind of honestly just getting his career going after such a long period of time. Not saying I won't say that because he did do a few movies and he did do Everything Is Chris, little things like that. Of course, the Friday film and stuff, but nothing that really put him in the forefront or the limelight. And now he's at a point where he's starting to get that ball rolling. So I completely understand why people just don't say these things. But for Naughty Dog, because they're looked at as the holy grail of everything, and Sony by so many people. And I don't want to make this into a console war thing. It's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to make this to a console war thing. But Sony as a company, tried to silence it. And it happens. It happened. I've recently read news with you've had things at Microsoft, not with Xbox, not in the gaming department, but when you have mega corporations like a Sony or a PlayStation, these things happen. It's big because it's affecting the industry that we are in, which is as media, the game industry, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. I just one of those things where I also want to urge caution to people, because what tends to happen in these cases, like you mentioned earlier, one of the things that does happen is that people get into the mentality of either we totally believe them or we totally condemn them, where you'll have individuals who they see the situation and because they don't know, or they immediately believe the person saying it, and they completely condemn Naughty Dog, completely condemn Sony immediately off the bat without any other evidence, without anything else going in, like no trial or anything else. They immediately believe it when they see it. And then you have people on the other end who, because they love Naughty Dog and they love Sony, are like, no, this couldn't have happened. He's lying. It's not true. And I've seen the opposites. I've seen both sides today, and it's pretty crazy. And I would urge people to try and keep an open mind, be supportive of this guy coming together, coming forward, and saying his piece and saying his part. I wouldn't condemn Sony and Naughty Dog exactly. I mean, keep in mind, this is a weekend, and they're probably all scrambling right now, trying to come up with a statement that they'll probably talk about on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try to push it out tomorrow. I wouldn't be particularly surprised. But it also kind of doesn't follow Naughty Dog's MO. Most of the time, they try to ignore stuff. They try not to mention anything. So I would be surprised if they say nothing, if they want to try to sweep it under the rug. But if you hear them say something, it's serious. Whether it's an exception or condemnation of the allegation, it's serious that they're addressing it to them. So that's what I would say. I would say just don't automatically say I'm burning all my Naughty Dog gear. I wouldn't go all out there just yet. I'd wait to see what comes from this for the next week or so.
I mean, that's just normally how it is, though. Like, if you're a fan, let's just keep it 100. If you're a fanboy, honestly, if you're an Xbox fanboy, you are reveling in this news, which is, kind of disappointing in a way because someone's life has been affected by this, and it's something that we shouldn't be cheering on. And if you're a PlayStation guy, boy, one of those type of things, and you just completely think the guy is lying, like Anchor said, you should kind of take a step back, man. No one's perfect, and no one's blaming Sony as a corporation, and no one's blaming Naughty Dog as a studio. These are individual people that have done things to individuals. There was a particular person in this, studio that wind up doing something to another person that, 298 other employees might not have known anything about. And this is completely affecting them and makes them look bad as a studio. And who knows who's running HR? Maybe the guys at Sony, at the upper crust of Sony, don't even know what's going on. The people that you see at E3 and things like that might not know. So listen, I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm not trying to root for anybody. I'm just trying to keep a level head here and be logical about the situation. Because a lot of times, like Edgar said, we kind of jump the gun. We want to either defend something that we truly love, or we want to condemn something that we hate. And in a situation like this, you really have to be careful in what you say and how you approach things, because we're in a time where there is no, there's no middle. It's either you're left or you're right, you're up or you're down. There's no middle. And we need to start trying to find common ground and find some level-headedness in today's climate. And I really think that if this guy takes it further and he can really prove the things that had happened to him, if he has that evidence, if I was him, I would take this to court, man, and just really fight this situation, because if he's not able to get work after 17 months, that's pressing. And I think Sony might have blackballed him. I do agree with that.
I think there's also two questions. There's two questions I see people ask all the time that we do need to address. I think that's important. The first question I see people coming up on one side asking, why didn't he say anything? Why did he say something until now? It might be something where he had to come to terms with what happened in his life, and he would have to you just had to work it out. And maybe try to see if maybe I can get past it. Maybe my life can move on beyond it. And maybe now was just the time was like, okay, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. It might be something as simple as that. Or probably the more real reason why he didn't say anything until now is legal reasons. Because if he were to come out there and name names immediately without a lawyer or anything else like that, he can get in some serious trouble. There's defamation lawsuits that could occur. There's tons of different stuff. And if Sony's intended on trying to have a cover-up of an event, I wouldn't put it past it for a defamation lawsuit.
I mean, listen, if you're just a small dev, of course you're going to feel a mega corporation like Sony that can just buy lawyers left and right and take this case as far and as long as they want. They have the money, they have the backing to fight it. It's hard to fight mega corporations. When they get the top of the line lawyers and things like that, there's a lot. It is a scary process, but the coverage to come out, speak about his experiences, and kudos to the people in Hollywood who have stepped up to talk about this situation. People in power, really affecting the lives of so many women. It's a very tragic situation that's happening all around, and hopefully we can get our act together as a country, because this is really starting to get out of hand. Really starting to be disappointing.
The other question I do want to bring up that people ask about too is like why would Sony try covering up this kind of thing? It's way more on their end. They have a lot more to lose if it came out earlier. Like imagine in 2015 it came out that this lead person at Naughty Dog was actually sexually harassing this person. That casts the whole game in a negative light. That's bad press.
Yeah, nobody be talking about the game. Yeah, it would have hurt Uncharted.
Yeah, it would be a bad thing for them. But at the same time, also take a look at it this way. People say like, "Oh, it would be that bad on them. It'd be a one-time isolated incident." But like, no. Imagine this is a team lead. This is something important. This is a big name person. I'll use this as an example. There's no relation to anything else, and there's no allegations or anything like that. This is just a completely hypothetical scenario. Like imagine if Death Stranding was coming out, and it came out that Kojima had done something, and it's a big name dude. Like this is a very popular guy. And if it came out that this person Kojima had done something, that would be huge. That would be terrible, and that would totally kill the hype for the game. Like if it was somebody big like that in Naughty Dog, that would be huge.
Yeah,
that would destroy everything about it.
Definitely a tough situation. We will definitely keep our ear to the street and to the beat when it comes to this situation, and you can find that news on TICGN.com. Make sure you check out TICGN.com for all the latest video game news, reviews, and opinions. Moving forward, Cuphead goes platinum. A lot of people underestimated Cuphead. I mean, I don't know how many people I've seen said, "Oh, Cuphead is going to flop. Nobody cares about this indie game. Nobody cares about this cartoon game, or nobody's really hyped for it. Oh my God, all Xbox has is Cuphead, yada yada yada," and it does extremely well. Now, listen, I'm not sitting up here and saying it's all Xbox. Obviously, Steam, the PC crowd, did its job. They knocked out a good, I think, 500,000 or better within the first week or the first couple of days or something like that. And I'm sure Microsoft picked up the rest, maybe 400K or less. But at the end of the day, man, the name is out there. People are playing this thing, streaming it on Twitch. You're seeing it everywhere. You're hearing how difficult the game is, but how fun the game is. It's getting a lot of high reviews. No one is down on the game whatsoever. I haven't seen anybody down on the game. No one's tried to trash the game. I'm seeing PlayStation guys and Nintendo guys wanting the game. It's crazy. Even GameSpot came out and made a poll about, which platform would you get Cuphead on? PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch? Boggling to me, because could you imagine if we never get anything like that for Xbox? Like, which game would you like to see Nier Automata on? Nintendo Switch or Xbox, or Neo on Nintendo Switch or Xbox? That's never happened. But Cuphead comes out, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird situation. It's like one of those things where it's like everybody was clamoring for Xbox to have exclusives. Xbox gets an exclusive, and it's extremely great. And now they want the game to go somewhere else. It's just funny and ironic to me that people would want that to happen. It's just a little hypocritical in itself. It's almost like, no, Xbox is the bad system, so they should have only bad exclusives. You know what I'm saying? Which is just ironic to me. But listen, end of the day, man, the game is done extremely well. I'm so happy for Studio MDHR. I really hope that these guys continue their success, and I hope that we see more of Cuphead. I truly believe Microsoft should just either make an offer to buy the studio, buy the IP, or somehow get the rights to this thing, because they could have a good franchise and a good mascot on their hands with Cuphead and Mugman. I didn't forget the name this time, Anchor. So, we'll see what happens, man. But very, very happy for those guys.
Yeah, man. By the way, did you ever get past the candy place?
No, I did not. I just quit. I was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated with that part. That candy part is frustrating, because I get to the part where the lady starts to move the house and is coming at you. But the problem is the head that is following you. Like, it keeps coming for you. And it's so frustrating because not only is it coming for you, but she's shooting at you. The giant peppermint wheel is coming at you. There's a lot happening on screen.
I tried to tell you, you could parry the peppermint wheel. Everything pink, you can parry.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
I had to realize that too, because almost everything in that level is pink. So it's very easy to get past that part. Once you realize you can just parry it. So yeah. I was trying to tell you that in the chat and you weren't answering. So
no, I was answering. You couldn't hear me probably. I don't know, maybe because I turned the music back on. But no, I did. I said, okay, that's cool that you can parry the peppermint as it rolls out. But my thing was, the frustrating part is that jawbreaker. That thing follows you everywhere, and the damn jelly beans. If it wasn't for the jelly beans, I probably could get past that part. The jelly beans is the things that I have to constantly worry about, because every time the enemy attacks you, one of those freaking jelly beans comes out on the ground, and you have to fire at it while concentrating on the damn thing that's trying to kill you, and the stupid lady shooting cotton candy shotguns at you. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me, the amount of things coming at you at one time. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like I probably should use the spreader. That's what I probably should have used.
Like,
I probably should use this.
How far have you gotten on Inkwell Island 2? Like, how many bosses have you beaten?
I've just beaten the genie. That was it.
All right. Yeah. What you have to do is, like, especially with the clown, you get the chaser and you get the spread shot. Like that. That'll help out a lot.
Which one?
The chaser, which is the homing beacon one. Right. And then you get the spread shot, which is the 8-way one. You can do so much damage. That really helps out, though.
But that's that the range on it is short, right?
Yeah, it's like the 8-way one. That's one, and the other one's like the green one that's range that like homes in.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'll have to get past that part in order to get more coins, because I'm broke. I think I've got almost all the coins. Maybe there's only like 2 more coins out there that I.
Yeah, you can do some of the running guns.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy stuff. But listen, Cuphead breaking 1 million is big. Hopefully they continue to do that. The Xbox fans will continue to support it. And we'll see how that goes. On another note, Forza 7 has gotten amazing reviews, but has been news has come out that it has sold less retail-wise than Forza Motorsport 6. Now, my thing is this. I don't honestly think that it's sold less than Forza 6 overall. I just think more people are buying digital. That's just what I think. You know what I'm saying? And until we get real numbers coming out, we won't know. And I also think some people may be holding off to buy the game with the Xbox One X. I truly believe that. Look, Shadow of War came out. I didn't buy the game. And that's one of the top games on my list to pick up, along with Assassin's Creed. I don't plan to buy either one of those games now, because I don't want to be tempted to play them now. I want to play them on the Xbox One X. So instead of me buying those games, I'm just going to hold off, buy the Xbox One X, and then pick them up later. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do and would rather buy the Xbox One X instead of picking up Forza with the Xbox One X and playing it in its best version instead of just buying it regularly and then not playing it at all. So I think a lot of people are kind of jumping the gun, because I've been seeing so many articles and so many fanboys talking about, flops and Forza's not doing well once again and it's oversaturated. I don't think that's what it is. I just think that people are just taking a different approach with this game, and it's going to wind up picking up once the Xbox One X comes out.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a jump it's going to be. I mean, clearly there is a market of people who are saying, I'm not playing it until I get in there. And I think if I were waiting for an X like that, I'd be like, okay, why would I buy the game now if I'm not going to play it that much, when I could just wait, like I'm going to do anyway, and then just pick it up later and get it at a cheaper price, because it'll be a couple months later. Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not just wait? So I mean, hey, it makes sense.
I mean, it makes complete sense. I would not be surprised. I truly just would not be surprised about that at all. I'm super excited for the Xbox One X, as well as a lot of people are. I've seen nothing but positive things from Xbox fans, and actually even PlayStation fans coming out saying they plan to get an Xbox. I've seen people say that they're going to trade in a PS4 Pro for an Xbox. Regardless of what people say about what Xbox hasn't done this year, there are still games on that Xbox that if you haven't bought an Xbox are brand spanking new to you. You know what I'm saying? And they're all going to look great. They're all going to play great. It's really enticing if you haven't had an Xbox, really trying to grab new people, Now, the only downside to that is, it's $500 if you're buying it for the first time. But if you're an Xbox guy, you already have an Xbox. And if you're going to upgrade, you're going to wind up trading in your Xbox anyway. So, you're going to get some percentage off, whether it's a quarter or half off, depending on what you have. I've seen people looking to buy 2 Xboxes. This thing's going to sell like crazy. I've never seen so much hype for a platform, at least here in the States, at least based on the people that I've spoken to, and some of the fans that we have in the UK and some of the people that I talk to from the UK, some of our fans, some of our friends. These guys are really hyped about the Xbox One X, man. And I just think that people are underestimating what Microsoft has produced. It's really starting to show itself big time. Speaking of which, about which is a great segue at this point, going into Shadow of War. Have you picked up Shadow of War, Anchor?
Hell no. I'm waiting on that one because I realized this like every year. I would keep buying games. I felt like I had to rush it because I know the next game's coming out in 2 weeks. I gotta run through it. I want to have time to savor Shadow of War. I want to have time to enjoy it. And right now, I got so many other games I got to play first, and so I'm just sitting back and waiting. I'll wait for that holiday sale, pick it up, $35. I'll wait. I'm patient.
We got the graphic that got released by Microsoft, and it talks about some of the enhancements that Shadow of War has gotten. Now, listen, all loot box situations aside, from what I've seen about this game and what I've learned, because I got a chance to watch it on Mixer, and this game looks amazing. First of all, I love the idea of the online. If you haven't seen how you play this game online, after you build a castle, a fortress or whatever, you can level up your generals. In arenas, they can fight, they can get stronger, more powerful, and each general has a different skill set. Now, when you're not playing, people can invade your castle with the people that you've put in place and like the setup that you've put in place. So your generals, the peoples he's recruited, depending on what type of general he is, if he has the I don't want to call them wyverns, but I forget what they call the dragon-like characters in the Drake. There you go. You got a character that controls like a tribe that controls drakes. You can get that leader. You have giant ogres. You have orcs. Like, it's really cool. And people will try to invade your base. And if they defeat your base, then they'll get a time and, how they defeated it and how they beat it and stuff like that. I don't know if your character dies and then that's it. You don't get them back, which would suck because you could be offline, wake up and your whole general set be wiped out. You'd be like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? But it would be really cool if you can see who invaded your base and then turn around and try to invade this. I just think that's an amazing and really well thought out concept. But the crazy thing about it is Microsoft has gone out and added the enhancements, or shall I say the guys at Warner Brothers and Monolith Studios have added the enhancements. So the enhancements are, you have the I don't even know how to, I want to say favor, but I think it's favor. Resolution mode offers increased texture details and targets native 4K resolution. Now this is dynamic 4K. A lot of people get their panties in a bunch over dynamic 4K because they feel like it's not native 4K. Well, let's just get one thing straight. Dynamic 4K is native 4K. The only difference is that if there is a sequence or a situation where there's too much happening on screen, right, it will drop the resolution to maintain the frame rate, which to me is just smart. It's just the smartest thing you can do. So Yeah, if most of the time, like Assassin's Creed, I believe they said most of the time the game is 4K native. So if most of the time the game is 4K native, yeah, the game is 4K native. You know what I'm saying? If the game is 75% of the time not 4K, then yeah, it's not 4K. But I guess we'll have to wait for Digital Foundry to find out about that. But it's really cool because they said you get increased texture detail with that as well. So that's a big deal. On the quality side of things, you get increased texture detail, increased draw distance, improved shadows and lighting quality, increased vegetation, improved ambient occlusion, higher polygon counts, and texture filtering improvements. Holy smokes, that's insane. That is insane. Okay, to be honest with you, I'm starting to agree with some people. Why even do 4K? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to get all of that, you might as well just stick with that. That is a lot of improvements. That's PC level improvements at this point. And I'm sure that probably runs at 1080 locked at 30 frames per second. That's a big deal to me. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the whole issue earlier. So yeah, there are two modes. There's a favor resolution, so they tool it up so you can play it native 4K and such. And then there's the other one where it had all these nice little advancements and such, which I feel like personally I'd play with the enhancements to the actual game itself. I mean, it's nice to have options. This is one of the issues that people were having questions about. Like, okay, what's going to happen if I don't have a 4K TV? Like, well, this is your answer. You're going to get better features, better options, and you're going to be able to choose back and forth between what you want. And this is something cool. I really dig this. Now, I wish there was one that was more of like a performance mode that was more like more of a focus on like, okay, frame rate. We'll move everything around to keep the frame rate steady, or we'll boost up to 60, do something like that. I'd rather they have that option, but yeah, I get it. It's pretty dope though.
Now, another game that's been greatly enhanced is Ark Survival Evolved. I'm hyped for this game. It's got 1440p. Let me get this right. 1440p at 30 frames per second with high-end quality PC-like settings. That's crazy. That's nice. And I look forward to getting back into Ark and building and things like that with my man Dizzy, man. We used to kill it back in the day on Ark. So I definitely want to get back into that without question. But what's really dope, they're targeting 1080p 60 frames per second on Ark on the Xbox One X. Now, listen, this is a big deal to me. If you've played Ark, you understand what the frame rate is like on Ark. Imagine flying and trying to come in on something with the amount of popping that you get from vegetation to buildings. And the biggest thing with this game is all of the building that you do. So when someone builds a massive base and they have tons of dinosaurs, I mean, your frames could drop down to like 10 frames per second. At least that's how it feels. You know what I'm saying? So for them to target 60 frames per second tells me a lot about what the Xbox One X can do. It tells me a ton. And I really cannot wait to see what this game looks like when Digital Foundry does its, I guess you could say it runs its test on the Xbox One X with this game. 1440p, 30 frames per second with high-end quality textures, or high PC settings on the Xbox One X, or the other toggle is 1080, 30 frames per second. I mean, 60 frames per second, which is just crazy. Now, I don't even know if they've done anything else with the 1080, 60. I don't know if they've added more textures, more shadows. I'm not sure. But whatever they've done, that's a big deal to me, and it's really impressive what the guys are doing over at Wildcard Studios.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. Kinect is dead. Like, Kinect is
next topic. We already do this.
I mean, I'm just saying though, like, Kinect is officially dead. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. I still have my Kinect. I want to give it away to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Because she loves to play Dance Central, so I kind of hold on to it. But yeah, man, the Kinect is dead at this point. It's kind of funny talking about it, especially with them now going to be adding the third-party cameras. And I'm just wondering how that will affect everything and how that could affect everything with what you purchase and what you buy. Will people get 4K cameras with microphones? How would you set your setup up now that you have the option to run a PC camera on your Xbox One X? I think that's a big deal. I think Xbox in general, honestly, not even just Xbox One X, but Xbox in general, I think that's a big deal. So we'll see how that works out. Also, I have a gripe with Xbox. And my gripe with Xbox is, once again, my Turtle Beach headset broke on me, as it always does. I don't know what is wrong with the people at Turtle Beach or why they make these plastic headsets, but I completely just gave up with Turtle Beach. And I've moved on, and I bought the HyperX Cloud 2s, which are probably the most comfortable headsets I've had since day one. I don't think I've had a pair of headsets as comfortable as the HyperX Cloud 2s. Now, what's really cool about this thing is that on the PlayStation 4, I get I don't know if it gives me 7.1, but I went ahead and tested the 7.1 surround sound, listening to some YouTube videos that were producing 7.1 surround sound, at least artificially, to see how the headset would sound. And it sounded incredible. It sounds absolutely incredible. And via USB, I can plug it up to the PS4 and it will work. The surround sound will come on. It'll work perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever. I can't turn the volume up. I can't turn the volume down. That's the only thing that's wrong with it. I can't turn the volume up if I'm down. I have to do that actually in the menu system of the PS4. But it does work. On the Xbox, when I plug it up, it don't even like USB. It doesn't even recognize it. I don't know what Microsoft has done. It seems that my understanding is that when it comes to PS4, they pretty much allow any USB headset to work on it. But with Xbox, you have to plug it into either the controller itself, or you plug it into the back of the Xbox via the optical outline, if you have an optical out, or it has to be kind of Xbox ready. Like, it has to be Xbox built in order for it to work. And to me, that's kind of disappointing, because this headset works with Xbox, and I really like the headset. But, using it and plugging it up via USB, it just doesn't pick it up. And this headset has 7.1 Dolby and everything in it, and it doesn't work for it. So it's kind of disappointing in that regard. But we got some stuff coming in soon, so we'll get a chance to test it out. I can't wait to get my hands on what, and I'm excited for it. But listen, man, that's just one of my gripes with Xbox. I hope they fix that. I'm definitely going to hit them up to see if they can figure out a way to put some type of firmware, some type of update where they allow USB to recognize headsets. I think that's a big deal.
You know what I have a gripe about, though?
What's that?
I have one more legitimate gripe than you do. The absolute heresy you were talking about this morning about Velveeta. How dare you insinuate Velveeta has the best mac and cheese? How dare you, sir? You have to submit to the absolute supremacy of the homemade mac and cheese, my friend.
First of all, let's just talk about this for 1 second. This is like not even gaming related, okay? First of all, it was a joke. I put a joke out. If you're not following Tick on Twitter, okay, I put a joke out this morning. I said, don't let the console war distract you from the fact that Velveeta shells and cheese is 10 times better than Kraft macaroni and cheese. Now, I've had a ton of people agree with me. I've had some people disagree with me, right? This was a boxed conversation. Here he comes with his, homemade macaroni master race self, talking about homemade. Everybody knows homemade macaroni and cheese is the best macaroni and cheese. There is no denying that. Okay, but homemade macaroni and cheese, if you're really good at it, is a preparation. Let's just get that out the way for 1 second. Okay, I'm a master when it comes to the culinary arts. I love to cook. I've been cooking since I was a child. I was almost on my way to culinary school. Had I not got a scholarship to play football.
Stop talking. Everybody's got their own homemade mac and cheese in the back. They always whip it out whenever the box wars are over.
Everybody's macaroni and cheese is not created equal, brother. It's just a fact. Some people can do it. Some people can't. You just don't throw a box of elbow macaroni and cheese together. There's a process. My macaroni and cheese is amazing. My thing is layered just like the PS4 Pro. You know how the PS4 Pro looks? You know how that thing is stacked in 3 layers? That's how my macaroni and cheese comes out. Stacked. You get the gooey, ooey goodness in there. I melt my cheese. I get that heavy whipping cream, that mozzarella, that cheddar, man, listen. Your boy nasty with it. Your boy is nasty.
Only the highest ultra settings for that macaroni and cheese, right?
My macaroni and cheese is on epic. It's on epic settings, bro. You need 2 1080 Ti's for my macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't rocking with that. Some people got to get the Xbox One X. And Velveeta macaroni and cheese is the Xbox One X. Kraft is not. Kraft is the Xbox One S. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you got to sometimes you can't knock the macaroni and cheese peasants. Sometimes we don't have time to make macaroni and cheese the right way. Sometimes you got to get that box and just throw it in a pot, stir it up for the kids and get it out there. You know what I'm saying? But you can't use powder. That powder stuff is for the birds. You got to go with the Velveeta, bro.
Nah, that's like the Ouya.
I don't know. I just think that you got to go with the Velveeta cheese, bro. Anybody now somebody put out there Cracker Barrel macaroni and cheese is really good too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about Cracker Barrel. I've seen it around. When I go to my neighborhood Publix, next time I go in there, I'll check it out. I'm gonna grab a box just because they put it out there. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see, and I'm gonna do a taste test. Matter of fact, I should do a video and do a macaroni and cheese taste test. Make 3 bowls of macaroni and cheese and put a Velveeta, Kraft, and Cracker Barrel and see which one is the best. I already know which one is the best. I'm already biased as it is. So I'm gonna have to find somebody to do the taste test for me. But we definitely gonna settle this. We're definitely gonna settle this without question.
Yeah, just do it right next to your Alien Isolation stream.
First of all, why do you keep bringing up Alien Isolation? I will never play that game. You people keep trying to play in this game. I will never play that game, bro.
You will.
I will never play it. Forget that.
We got somebody on the Patreon tier who wants you to play it.
I refuse. I will not be not playing Alien Isolation. They're gonna have to hit me up and let me know.
October, be in the spirit of things.
I don't think so. Alien Isolation is not a game that I plan to play anytime soon. All right. That's funny stuff nonetheless.
This man Jorge is already out here. He's already got a call. I said, stop calling Velveeta cheese. That's a cheese product sauce.
Hey, I've been growing up on products forever, bro. I grew up in the hood, man. I know nothing. All I know is products. That's all I know, son. Like my man Dave Chappelle said, juice. What is juice, man? I want that drink. I want that purple stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that sugar water purple. That's what it's all about, bro. I don't know what juice is, baby. You know, that's what it's all about, man. So that's just how it is. I grew up on that, man. That's the good stuff right there.
Edge is speaking the truth right now. Velveeta is like plastic with cheese flavoring.
That's just funny. That's crazy. Still better than Kraft, though. Still better than powdered cheese.
I'm gonna blow your mind. Velveeta is owned by Kraft.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all the same company.
Damn, Kraft got it on lock. I hate the Patriots. Now you're making me think of the Patriots. I don't even want to think about the Patriots. Why are the Jets winning, by the way? I'm on a whole different topic right now. They're making me mad. I'm trying to get the first pick in the draft, and they over here winning games. Hopefully we take out tomorrow. Anyway, all right. Oh, listen. The developers of The Artful Escape. We were at E3. We got a chance to see this indie game called The Artful Escape. I say, and these guys have been working extensively with the Xbox One X, and it's so funny. One of the I'm going to try to bring the story up in 1 second. The guy has been talking highly of the Xbox One X, and he said once you go 4K, you don't go back. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, it's an indie game. I don't want to knock indie developers. You know, it's not like the guy's making something so smashing and incredible that you've never seen it before. If you don't know what The Artful Escape is, The Artful Escape is the game where he has the guy who's playing music, like rock and roll, and he's skiing down like a slope. It's like all colorful and there's rainbows and all this stuff like that. It wasn't my cup of tea, but the more I got a chance to see it and the more I watched it, the more I understood the creativeness of that particular game. So it's just really cool, unique like that on the platform. So he goes on and he says, I'm trying to find it right now. He says, he feels like developers will use the Xbox One X's full potential to make amazing looking games for the system. See them using the full potential of the One X, I think is going to use primarily for texture size, effects, and stuff like that. You can make a great game for the Xbox One, but it's going to look amazing on the One X. There are, of course, things that make the case for the Xbox One X different from the context of the other systems I just named above. Mostly, modern game engines and developmental pipelines are hugely scalable. Microsoft has used uniform and standardized hardware, and they have implemented development tools and pipelines to help developers scale their games to the hardware as well. So I do see the One X being leveraged more than one might have expected. Hopefully, Galvatron is right, and that is the guy who is making the Artful Escape. So he's saying that a lot of people who feel like Xbox One X isn't significantly different enough from the original Xbox One or PS4 Pro will eventually start to see these big differences, because a lot of the power really won't go into the resolution, but more of the effects and the textures and the things that we really want to see in games, the things that really separate PC from consoles. And I think that if game companies continue to do exactly what guys at Arc are doing and the guys over on Shadow War are doing, where you have two settings for the people who want to see 4K and get better textures, you have this mode, but for the people who want more bang for your buck, but it's fine with 1080p, you have this. And I think if you're getting all of these new features and assets that really make the games pop and look ultra realistic or look 10 times better than it did than the original, I think Microsoft really has something big on their hands, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, until the PS5 and then Honey Badger comes out. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, man. I'm definitely excited about that. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for more options. Sounds dope. I don't know. Like I've said before, when it comes to 4K right now, I don't really care because I don't have a 4K TV. But as soon as I have a 4K TV and I can see it in my own home, I hope it's one of those situations where I can't go back. It justifies the purchase, but I got to see it for myself.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of those things. Not like in a demo setting. I got to sit down, spend a couple hours, and play it for myself and see the difference.
Right. I hear you, man. I definitely want to get my hands on this Xbox. Like right now, I had a conversation with my homeboy because I'm looking at picking up a new TV. And I think I spoke about this LG TV. I don't remember what series it was, but it's got some pretty high marks. Based on at least one of my homeboy let me know, there was some research that he did, and he told me that it's got some pretty high remarks. So it's a game. It's a TV that probably be worth picking up, especially if I don't want to spend thousands of dollars on a TV. Like one of the Samsungs or the Sonys, which I was initially going to get. So I'm definitely excited for everything, man. I really can't wait to see what Microsoft has up their sleeves game-wise. I think a lot of people are underestimating Xbox game-wise. They do have games in production. Excited to see what they have to show. 2018, I think, is going to be a big year for them. I just can't stress enough that 2018 is going to be a big year for them. And hopefully we see what they show at E3. Now, I won't be attending E3 next year. I'm going to take a break. The team has gotten bigger. The site is doing great, so we're able to send more people this time around, and I'm excited to get some of the team from the website and some of the other podcasters out there to E3 for the first time to report for TICGN. But these guys will get a chance to see some of the new content Microsoft is doing, and I'll definitely try to get my guys some of that backroom access that I got this year when I was telling you guys about State of Decay and Forza and Ashen. People forget about Ashen all the time. They really do, as if Ashen doesn't exist. And Ashen is probably going to be one of those big indie games like Cuphead was this year. Ashen is going to be that game next year. You want to talk about a Dark Souls-like type game? Ashen is that game. And it's so creative in the way that they produced and made this game and the way it's all set up. So I just can't wait to get my hands on it and play it. So listen, man, that's it for the show this week. I'm very appreciative of everybody stopping out. Anchor, you got time for Q&A?
Of course, I got time. I don't have anything better to do.
Awesome. So listen, we're going to go ahead, take a few questions for the people who has joined us tonight in the chat. Make sure you check out ticgn.com, our official home and website. We have an awesome crew of writers and reviewers. Any game that you're looking for, we probably reviewed it already and it's up there. You could do a search and you can find it up on the site. We do extensive reviews as well. We don't just write about something and just put it out there. We let you know what got a score, why we thought the score was bad, why we thought the score was good, and we give you a finalized score that way. So make sure you check out our reviews. We also do movie reviews. I think a lot of people disregard some of our movie reviews, and we do great movie reviews. We have a great entertainment team. We cover anime, we cover comic books, we cover video game news all around, not just Xbox, but PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, PC, and some tech stuff too. So make sure you check out ticgn.com. Along with that, you can find Tick Podcast on iTunes, Google Play, as well as the Stitcher app and Podbean app, and pretty much any cast app that you have. So you can listen to us while you're playing games. You can listen to us on your way to work, on your way to school. Just look up TIC Podcast as one word on iTunes, and we will pop up, or any device that plays MP3s, and we should pop up. So once again, that is it for the show this week. We will be back next week with another episode at 10 p.m. I kind of like this 11 o'clock slot, though. I feel like we get everybody when they either coming off of work or nobody's on, so we have everyone's attention. But I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Make sure you give us a thumbs up for the show. We greatly appreciate the support as always. I'm your host, KRS SKL, the last on the planet Xbox. We're Anchorman V, and we are off this planet. Peace. All right. So listen, man, I want to thank everybody for stopping out, man. Really appreciate everybody for hanging with us tonight as we get a chance to talk about this whole Naughty Dog situation. Listen, it's crazy what has happened. You know what I'm saying? With all of the allegations of sexual harassment, it's just become a thing where people in power are just so comfortable and feel so immune to the things that they do, that I think they just don't expect to get caught, or they just don't expect people to respond or say anything. And when it comes out, we're all shocked because we're just regular old people, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know what's going on in Hollywood and the video game industry and the movie industry and politics and stuff. But these people that are supposed to be saints, and these people that are supposed to be, the right type of people, are always the ones that seems to be doing the most shady stuff. Do you find that ironic?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I talked about earlier in the show today. It's just, it's always, it just seems, at least with this latest batch, it has seemed that it's always the people who are over socially positioning themselves online, or doing these public speeches, doing all this little cool stuff on the side, and getting all like the social media street cred. It's always these people, and behind closed doors, they're the worst. Yeah. What was the thing now? Oh yeah, it was right after the whole we had the Joss Whedon thing happened a couple months ago. And then you had the Harvey Weinstein thing happen. Then Ben Affleck came next, right after that. And then it's Jason Momoa now, who's getting
Jason attention. Momoa? Aquaman?
Oh, you hear this?
Oh my!
Oh man,
God.
yeah. This act. It was after a couple days later. Ben Affleck got caught for trying to protect Weinstein, like trying to cover up for him on a couple occasions. And so he came out and said, "I'm shocked and appalled," and yada, yada, yada. And right after that, he had said something about, so someone brought up, like, hey, what about back, like, 10 years ago, whenever you grabbed Jennifer Garner's boob or something like that? And it was just, and they brought it like it happened a couple of times, and people started bringing up montages. They apologized for, like, 10 years ago. And then right after that, there was like for about it was 2 years ago, I think. No, it was a Game of Thrones panel with Jason Momoa. It came up there, and like he was talking about raping people. He's like, "Oh, when you're a Hollywood actor, you can do a lot of different stuff. Like, you go out on set, you take what you want, you rape women, like kind of like a joke." It was just, and it's like, wow, everybody's coming next. Watch the next thing happen. Gal Gadot gets called out. Watch the next thing. Watch it happen.
Yo, Aquaman though, he took that Khal Drogo a little too serious, son.
Yeah,
like he really out here. He really out here trying to take blondes like it's not a game right now. That's out of control.
To be fair, when he made that joke, that was what the joke was about. Because that's what he did in the show. He pretty much raped her in the show, and he was making a joke about that. And people took it out of context, but they still used it to go at him.
Oh, rape jokes are not funny. Like that's kind of that's one of the subjects I would not want to joke about. Rape is not something I would joke about. Absolutely not. So, as a man who has a daughter, I do not want to joke about rape. I don't find that funny at all. So, listen, go ahead, leave some questions in the comment section. We'll try to answer them. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Shout out to Black Z Black Rider, the Mac of 010. Edge XL. Shout out to Chico, man. Chico's my man, bro. Chico be holding me down. If you guys don't know, Chico, I gotta say this every time he pops up. Chico is our head editor-in-chief at ticgn.com. This man has been with me since day one. I can't thank him enough for all he has done and all the support he has given, not only myself, but the team, man. This guy is, basically the backbone of TICGN. I really can't. I have to tip my hat off to him. So thank you, Chico, for all you've done. So make sure you guys support TICGN, man. Those guys deserve it. Dizzy, shout out to Diz, man. This is my right hand as well. Always good to bounce. If you get advice from him, man, as somebody who has run a site as well, man, it's always good to have somebody in your corner like that. George asks, my question is, how can one possibly be a Jets fan, almost like being a Browns fan? No?
Wow.
The savage. That was savage. That was real savage for a second there. See, the difference is, though, is that we at least beat the Patriots in the playoffs one season and knocked them out of playoff contention. And another instance, in the early 2000s, we've gone to AFC championship games. We've been in the playoffs multiple times. We even had the ¡1 defense a few years, top 5 defense a few years in a row. It just so happened that we just never had a quarterback to get over the hump. So, of course, as a Jets fan, it's definitely tough. I'm from New York. A lot of people know that. I grew up as a Jets, Giants fan, Knicks fan. I'm a homer. That's just how it is. But for some apparent reason, I gravitated towards the Jets. I used to play high school football. I did my thing as a youngin. So I got a chance to go to back in the day before it became MetLife Stadium. It was Giant Stadium, and I got a chance to go there and meet some of my heroes from back in the 90s. Yeah, I'm an old guy. So back in the 90s when I was in high school, and I got to meet guys like Aaron Glenn and Wayne Corbett and stuff like that, and get a chance to chat with them and talk football with them, and see guys from the Giants like Jesse Armstead and meet Chris Slade, who was on the Patriots and stuff like that. So it was really cool, man. But I grew up a Jets fan. I've always been a Jets fan, and hopefully someday we get that quarterback and we're able to get over the hump and maybe win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's my dream. Hopefully I can be around for that. I can't imagine the people in Chicago who was there for their World Series championship game after like almost 100 years. Insane. To be alive to see that is just amazing. Absolutely history making, and you were a part of history. So that's a big deal, and hopefully that happens for me. I'll be excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough when your team is loses a lot, or you're in a division with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. It sucks. I'll be honest with you, it kind of sucks to be a New York fan. Like in one instance, I have to deal with Tom Brady for like the last almost 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And another instance prior to that, I had to deal with Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan didn't exist in the NBA, the Knicks probably would have won at least 2 championships in the 90s. At least 2 championships, without question. But with Michael Jordan there, bro, never going to happen. And that kind of sucks. That sucks big time.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Any other questions out there before we shut it down?
Let's see. I don't see much. Not a lot of questions. We covered everything today.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Most people probably have everything answered already. So listen, man, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Greatly appreciate the support once again. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. That'll get us shared out there and get more people finding the premiere podcast for Xbox. You know, we just had to discuss this Donnie Dog thing today because it just was big. It really is big, and it's going to be big going forward.
And hopefully we can set the pace too, like because everyone's gonna blow this out of proportion too, and people are gonna say ridiculous stuff, and we were kind of hoping we'd set the pace of like, okay, maybe hopefully people will take it slow, wait for an actual statement, but we'll see.
Right. Oh, we got a few coming in. Edge wants Chico wants me to ask. I'm gonna go back up and ask this question because he says his question was not answered. Chico asks if Anchorman was an ice cream sundae, would he be covered in caramel sauce or hot fudge?
Okay.
What would you choose? Ice cream sundae?
I mean, if we're looking at a technical standpoint, probably caramel, so I don't get eaten.
What? Caramel is the best on ice cream. I love caramel. I hate chocolate.
Most people, like, you know, most people. I think most people would be like, okay, yeah, it's caramel. I'd rather have the hot fudge. I'll wait on this one. And so maybe, you know, a few more, like maybe another minute or two of life. But if I had to pick, though, I'd probably go with caramel anyway. So
that I might not have ice cream for the rest of the month. I think I'm gonna stay away from ice cream. Anchorman covered in caramel is not something I want to see. That's funny though. Dizzy asks, what's wrong with Alien Isolation? Nothing. Alien Isolation is an amazing game. I just don't do horror. I don't play any horror games whatsoever. I don't play any survival horror games. I don't play any action horror games. Listen, I've said this a million times. I won't even stay out at night in Final Fantasy 15. Okay? When it hits nighttime, I go straight to a hotel or a trailer and I'll go to sleep until the morning. I refuse to do anything in the dark. So imagine me playing Alien Isolation. It's not going to happen, bro. It's just not my cup of tea.
It will happen. It will. Just like Fusion Frenzy on Xbox One. It's going to happen.
We'll see. RKDO asks, what games are you getting this holiday? Well, I already got Cuphead. I picked up Battle Crashers. I got Ruiner. I plan to pick up Assassin's Creed Origins, Shadow of War, Super Lucky Tale, Star Wars Battlefront, and Wolfenstein 2. I think that's it for me. And that's gonna be between me and my boy. You know, we do the game sharing thing, but yeah, that's what we got planned for the holiday for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for me, I'm picking up Wolfenstein 2 is the next game I'm personally buying than PUBG. My game share partner is picking up World War II, and I don't think we're not getting Star Wars Battlefront. I think that's it. It's kind of at the end of the year, at least in terms of other releases that haven't come out just yet.
I gotta get Battlefront. I'm intrigued by this story. I just saw the poster for the new Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not liking the direction this Star Wars is going. As a Skywalker fan and a fan of the Skywalker family, like a true fanboy of the Skywalker lore, like I love that, that story, that lineage. There was a thing where they showed a poster of every Star Wars poster, and in each instance, the villain was in the background. Like you would have all the heroes up front, but the villain is in the distance, like he's in the back, like in a big giant thing, while all the other characters kind of smaller in the front. And Luke Skywalker is hovering over everybody. And I'm not a fan of Luke Skywalker being some sort of villain in this game. I mean, in this movie. And I truly hope that he is not a villain.
Yeah.
Like going towards the dark side and then they have to bring him back type situation, or they kill him off. Like I'm not a fan of them killing off the original Star Wars family. Like I'm just not a fan of that.
Kill them all.
I'm disappointed, but we'll see.
Last question. Why am I someone's asked, why am I not hearing The Evil Within 2? Well, the answer with that one is I can't get it for a month, so that's it.
I refuse. I'm not getting Evil Within. I don't want anything with evil in it. I won't even watch evil. I'll watch horror films. Like I'm actually on the verge of watching it, but I'm shook because I heard it was scary as hell. Yeah, I heard it was scary as hell. Everybody keep telling me it's scary as hell, like a lot of jump scares.
Not really. For me, there's really no jump scares in that movie.
All right, so then
I watched it in theaters. Like any scare is coming like from a mile away. Like they let you know.
I feel like I need to watch it at 9 a.m. in the morning with plenty of sunlight.
Don't watch it. That's when it's scariest.
Really? During the day?
During the day. Insane. Watch it at night. Like right about now.
That's funny. Z Black Rider asks, how long before Phil buys CD Projekt Red?
20 years.
Billion years? Like CD Projekt
20 years.
They're never going to buy CD Projekt Red. I don't see that happening anytime soon. It's definitely not going to happen whatsoever. It would be great though. I mean, we've always stressed that CD Projekt Red be the best studio to take over Fable, in our opinion. But it's just never going to happen. Fable completely needs a reboot. Even the Lionhead devs came out and said anybody who wants to try to do a new Fable will have a terrible time have a difficult time of doing it, because it truly is a Lionhead game. The game needs to be literally redesigned and rebuilt from the ground up. And you clearly want to hire some of the original staff, but you really have to take a new take on Lionhead. I mean, on Fable. Well, the Fable franchise is dead, and it's disappointing because a lot of people would love to see Fable return, unless they come out with some RPG, which I've heard rumors about them having some big game that is going to be the new franchise that we've all been waiting for this generation. We'll see. Hopefully we get it sooner rather than later. I really hope Microsoft comes out with something as big, because they've done it every generation since Xbox has been out. First it was Halo, then it was Gears. We're still waiting on that next big franchise that becomes the new staple for the Xbox platform. So we'll see what happens. Let's finish up here. So Last Sight Ninja said, should Moon Studios work on a AAA title?
No.
I agree. Moon Studios is actually like a conglomerate of people all around the world. Like they don't actually work together. Like you have people in different places and different locations, and they work via sending information to each other across the internet, or something like that. At least that's how they did the first Ori. If you ever listen to their story of how they work together and stuff. So a very different type of studio. But if I'm Microsoft, I buy Moon Studios immediately. Whatever they need, you just pay it. I just don't understand why these contracts are like contracts. Microsoft solely needs first-party studios. Moon Studios seems to be a very successful one. Studio MHDR is successful. Buy these studios now.
It's prevent being liable for sexual harassment scandals.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, it's not my payroll.
I mean,
not my HR.
I guess so, in a way.
You can condemn them. You say nope. Right, we just won't do business with them again. You look like a good guy.
I Dizzy asks, what's the scoop with Dragon Punk and Shadowrun?
It's dead. Leave us alone.
Yeah, there's none. Yeah, my understanding is that they pitched it and it got rejected, and that's disappointing in that regard. I'm definitely going to try to get the Dragon Punk guys on the show to talk a little bit about that and talk about what they're doing with Arc. So definitely look out for that interview and the coming weeks, as well as we're still trying to lock up a date with Craig Duncan, the head of Rare Studios, to get a chance to pick his brain about Rare, Sea of Thieves, and what they had planned for the future. So I can't wait to do that. Yeah, so that's it, man. That's it for the show. Once again, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Big shout out to the guys out there that asked questions tonight. I greatly appreciate your support as always. Make sure you check out the TIC Patreon. You can go ahead and look that up on the Twitter page. We have, you can look up patreon.com/TIC Network, TIC Network. If you want to join that Patreon, and in that regard, you can come on the show. We give you shout outs.
Make Cal play Alien Isolation.
I'm not playing that game. We do raffles. We just gave away $80 in credit, 60 in Xbox Live and 20 in Nintendo Switch credit. So yeah, we give away credit for the platform of your choice. So make sure you go ahead and check out the TIC Patreon, participate in that, and you could win, be a part of the raffle and be a part of the show, as well as be a part of game nights and hang out with the team and stuff like that. If you love TIC, you can support us in that way. Will help us grow and invest in a lot of other things to help us compete with some of these bigger sites. And if you just want to make a donation, you can go ahead and donate to paypal.me/TIC Network, and that would be greatly appreciated as well. All of that goes to helping the websites and the team and the podcasters improve all of the stuff that we do, so we can put out better quality content and have better quality stuff for you guys. So greatly appreciate everyone and all their support. So that's it for the show this week. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Inner Circle podcast. Make sure you tune in Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch Iron Lord podcast tomorrow at 11 a.m. right before football and hang out with that team before things kick off, and catch Multiverse on Mondays at 8 p.m. with Anchorman and the team, as they get a chance to talk about movies, video games, comics, and whatever the hell else they be talking about on that show. And of course, you can catch 2XP on Fame Entertainment's channel, or wait for the upload to hit the TIC Network channel where these guys debate PS4 versus Xbox, our official debate show, Nicodemus X versus Fame Entertainment. So once again, I'm your host, KRS Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, we're Anchorman V, and we're out of here. Peace.